Is that how we're doing the interview? Because I'm
Who-
down. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'll hop in the side.
This is
You're gonna
Barry
have to
after
scream.
all.
It's gonna be
Legend.
hard to hear you,
I'll be the one asking the questions, so I'll be in there.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Porter, let me know when you start recording.
I've already started.
Oh, okay. So, Barry, was it?
Sorry about that. I had to write a 311, but yeah, it's Barry.
Yeah, no problem. Approximately when did you feel this passion for flying?
I mean, it started out as the passion as a kid. You know, I always wanted to fly. My father was a pilot, and so it just kind of ran in the family, and I was around it growing up. So it just everything was right there for me.
Yeah, okay. Now, do you feel like you could ever like quit flying, or do you feel like you're ready to invest in now? Like, if you had to, would you be able to?
I think I would always find a way back to it. I mean, it's a love and it's a passion. So
All right. Well, let's go for a bit of a long-ended one. Do you have any personal favorite stories or memories about flying?
sorry about that. Yeah, actually I do. You know, when I first came to Los Santos and I started teaching people how to fly, my first ever student passed his first lesson, right? Aced the ground lesson. So he hopped in the seat so we could test his mechanics. And let me remind you, this is the very first day that the chief of police signed off on me to start testing people on their flight skills. And he gets the plane off the ground. You know, he did that. And we're about 200 yards away from the airport, over the water, thankfully. And he just shuts the engine off. Full panic sets in. There's no way of turning the engine back on. We're already falling too quick for me to call a mayday. So we end up landing in the water. I bailed out instantly, immediately. You know, that's what they train you to do. And he unfortunately did not. So my first ever student ended up dying in the water, drowned. So I had to cover him and bring him back to shore. And immediately after, I got a call from Bobby Allen, the chief of police, asking me if everything was okay, and definitely wasn't okay.
Wow. Okay. Porter, you get all that over there in the wind?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Now, are there any personal favorite places for you to fly?
You know, I do love flying to the cove over here. I wonder if I can fly you all past it real quick. There's a cove over here on the east coast that's it's pretty cozy. You know, it's a little hideout spot. You know, there's a boat in there if I want to go out cruising and whatnot. So it's either this little cove or honestly, I like flying over to Cayo Perico. You know, I don't always use the intended landing strip. There's a place where I like to land that gives us some better access to the farther end of the island. So that landing's always a little tricky, and it tests my piloting skills, and I think that's why I like it so much.
Okay. Alright, I got another one for you. So, how long do you think it took you to get your first plane? And
You know,
do you have more than one?
this was I mean, I'm paying this one off. I didn't buy it in full, so it's pretty much financed right now. Had to have some major talks with you know, the government and whatnot, and so I'm paying this off as a government loan pretty much.
Okay. And is this your only plane at the moment?
Yep, this is my only plane. This little cove right here is one of my favorite spots to go.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have a name for your plane?
You know, I'm still working it out. I've been leaning more towards Marilyn, you know, after the great Marilyn Monroe. I think she's pretty, you know, very pretty.
Wow, beautiful scenery up here.
Oh yeah.
You can see why you love doing this so much.
The views never get old, you know. It beats driving around on the ground, having to swerve in and out of traffic, dodge cars, worry about cops pulling you over, you know. I could go 150 in here just fine and not have to worry about anyone stopping me.
Yeah. Have you ever done any like rescue work with your planes before?
You know, it wasn't with any departments or anything, but it was kind of a personal rescue. you know, thankfully this can land on the water, and there was someone stranded out at sea, and I was able to they gave me a call, and I was able to just fly out there and land and pick them right up, you know.
Oh, we got a lot of questions, but I still got one more for you before we kind of like tie up the interview. Do you have any words of inspiration or encouragement or future pilots, like what they should and shouldn't do and stuff like that?
You know, when it comes to making money to get your license or get a plane, it's going to be hard to do without crossing some lines or boundaries. So, I mean, try to stay as clean as you can. Try not to, you know, get your nose into too deep on anything. Definitely practice, a lot of practice, you know. Planes aren't super easy to fly, so if you're going to start taking people around with you, you want to make sure they're going to be as safe as they can be, you know. If you're flying people around commercially and people start dying, it's not going to look too good for you.
Yeah, I understand that. Now, final question. How did you end up passing your flying exam on your first track?
I did. I did. I flew out there with Bobby Allen, and he took me up, tested me on some questions about the rules, and you know, tested my mechanics, and everything went smooth, you know.
Beautiful. All right, Barry.
I have some questions.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know if you can hear me from out here. It's kind of windy.
I can hear you.
Okay. How many hours a week do you say that you'd spend flying to keep your skills up?
I try to get in at least 2 hours a day, you know, 2 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah. Wow.
Keeps you sharp. You know, lets you practice certain maneuvers or certain scenarios, and you know, it just keeps you one step ahead of the game.
Keeps you on your toes.
And I remember when I met you. I don't know if you remember the circumstances, but you had lost a plane in the mountains.
I did. Yeah.
I remember you said that you were trying some fancy maneuver, which makes me think that you're
what maneuver it is.
You're the kind of guy that pushes himself to try new things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you have anything that you'd like to show off for us, that would be great.
I mean, I'll show you a very, very short landing on top of Mount Chiliad here. This is the stunt that you know, put me in the hospital the first time. So I feel confident enough to bring you all along.
All right. Okay. I now regret being the one standing out here when asking that question. But let's do it.
I mean,
we got this.
If we hit a little rough, you might go forward a little bit. But I think you'll miss the propeller. You know.
Oh, great.
Beautiful.
I have to do this a certain way, because right now I'm going about 120 miles an hour, and if I'm gonna do this, I have to reduce my airspeed to about as slow as I can go without completely stalling. And to do that, I might have to loop around real quick, but it's gonna require me to pretty much stall right where I need to be and land on this little area.
That's okay. At this point, it's all you.
We're gonna slow down here. We're gonna, you know, step off the gas a little bit. We're still going about 100 miles an hour, and that's way too fast. So I'm gonna loop around and try and lose as much speed as I can get.
Well, now that it's nighttime,
Yeah, that adds a little bit of trickiness to it, to be honest.
you ever ran into any unidentified flying objects before while flying?
I have once before, and I mean, it was instant. I couldn't really get an eye on it or tell you what it was. It looked pretty ugly though. Alright, we're gonna loop around again because we're still going too fast.
You good out there, Porter?
I think so.
So, the first thing that ever claimed my life because came in a little too high and stalled a little too early, and I pretty much just dropped out of the sky like a rock and flew up.
Jeez, that had to be absolutely terrifying.
Do you
It
always
was
fly alone?
not always, you know. I have a few people that I like to fly around for business purposes, you know.
Actually, yeah. Let's talk about your business more. So, what kind of stuff do you do?
I mean, the business was started out, you know, doing all right, and it slowed up a little bit. So I've taken a look towards other paths, you know, of getting money, and you can see I'm wearing a lot of blue here.
I
So-
did notice that you weren't like that when I first met you.
No, absolutely not. So I've had to find alternatives to making some money, and you know, it's, like I said earlier, it's all about keeping your nose clean, and if you don't, it turns into not getting caught, you know.
Fair enough.
So we're slowly sliding down this mountain, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take us off.
All right.
Um,
I'm holding on.
Jesus Christ.
Get out there, Porter. We're doing 170 right now.
Uh huh.
You are muscular. 190.
I can't feel my hands. I'm holding this way too tight.
A future Olympian with that grip strength. Alrighty, we're good. That was my little stunt there. You know, if you know, that's what I wanted to add to my scenic flights. You know, because usually I take people over to that waterfall and land on the water and take off right off of the waterfall. But I
Yeah,
felt like I just wanted to add something more. You know, landing on top of Mount Chiliad seemed like something to do.
shows your prowess.
But you know, as far as some stuff in the future, I've been thinking about chatting with maybe some government or some businessmen, and you know, maybe for events we could do a flyover in a jet. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
And some businessmen were talking about getting some skydiving races going or some skydiving lessons, and you know, I'm sure if I'm sweet enough, I could see if the military base will let me borrow one of their Titans and could open up the trunk and pack about 15 people in the back. So
Oh,
That
God.
sounds
pretty
like
fun.
it'd be a really great business, doing skydiving lessons and stuff.
oh yeah,
Probably make a lot of money off of
oh yeah, because parachutes are not too cheap either.
that. Uh-huh.
Coming over the city like this at night is one of my favorite things to do. Landing on runway
Gorgeous.
21.
Really puts into perspective how big Los Angeles is.
Oh yeah. And flying over it, it's just so peaceful. You know, you're on the ground, you hear sirens, you hear cars screeching, you know, people calling out their gangs and shit. Now flying up here, it's quiet, it's nice, go at your own pace. It's just soothing.
Just something that you kind of want to all take in, look around.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely beautiful scenes.
Well, if my camera doesn't fall off from the wind, then I should be able to capture all of that.
Awesome. You got a good view out there too, you know?
Oh yeah, it's a really great view. You get a nice shot of coming into land. Perfect.
Perfect. That's a little it's a route right there.
I gotta say, that was amazing.
Oh yeah, it never gets old. I love doing it. Another thing having a plane does, it just opens up your ability to travel, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like I like to go salvaging, you know? And with this, I'm able to just fly over there, you know, land on the water, hop in my boat, go salvaging, and then fly right back to the airport. You know, no driving, no. It's just no long drive, which is what I love the most.
It probably cuts down on times like considerably with stuff like mining and salvaging.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you wanted, I could actually, you know, I've been thinking if we could get enough people that know how to fly, we could maybe organize an air show one of these days. I've even got some tricks I'd like to try and do in this, but I don't know if I could do them with Porter on the side there. I've through trial and error, I've realized that if you have people on the side and you pitch to a certain angle, they will fly right off.
I'm glad you told me this after we've landed. Thank you.
Don't worry, I was watching how hard I was turning.
Well, I think we to write a full article, Porter.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So Barry, I'll let you know, if you haven't checked out our blog, you'll be able to find the full report there, along with the video and some notes we have.
Alrighty, that sounds good. I was gonna ask if you guys, like, I haven't tried it much for anyone, but I wanted to try some low ground maneuvers, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Would we be in the plane or out of the plane?
You can be in the plane. Porter might have to jump off the side real quick.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Porter, get
Just
some
there's
good
no
angles. Yeah.
That is absolutely incredible.